Good morning, wrestling fans, and welcome to PWR Today for Friday morning. It's September 4th, 2020. I'm the man they call Meathead, and joined as always every Friday morning is that guy they call Matthew Thomas. Morning, Matthew.
Good morning. Top of the morning on this wonderful Friday morning to you, Meathead.
Yeah, it's the winds of change are blowing. I mean, thank you, Scorpions. But I tell you, I was sleeping with the window open the last couple nights, and you can feel the difference between wind blowing just across you, gently breezing, hit you under the sheets, that kind of blowing by. And then the last two nights here in the Fox Valley, Appleton-ish, Wisconsin area, I swear to God, every 45 minutes the wind would smack me in the face, just slap me.
Sounds like you guys have rather violent winds there in Wisconsin.
Well, it's coming off of Lake Winnebago there, don't you know?
Interesting. Yeah, that's I'm glad you're okay.
But it was just odd. I mean, you're sitting there and you have the windows open. You're enjoying a nice early September night. The breezes are blowing by, and out of nowhere, whoosh, and it just smacks you, wakes you right from the dead sleep that you're in.
Do you have one of those? Are they called wind gauges? The little things that used to sit on the top of homes with like a rooster on it that would show you which way the wind. You need to get one.
There is no reason for anybody to have any roosters or cocks on top of my house. Period.
Well, that seems like that's a great omission.
But segueing into our sponsor, hey, let's talk about Manscaped.com. As you heard a testimonial from one Damian Nelson yesterday morning, he was able to cross the border without catching any skin. Manscaped.com. Make sure you head on over to manscaped.com. If you enter the promo code PWR, you're going to get yourself 20% off plus free shipping for any of the packages that you buy, including the Lawnmower 3.0, which is out there. And then, Matthew, you've waxed poetic about this. You need some ball powder as well.
Yeah, that's also one of the various options that you can get from Manscaped. And, that along with being able to successfully make a border run.
So, all these times that I've been telling my friends over the many, many years I'm going to make a run for the border has never been so apropos than it is right now.
Absolutely. You can make a run for the border without leaving the comfort of your own home.
10-4. All right. But again, head on over to manscaped.com. And if you end up picking it up and using that PWR code to get that 20% off, tag us in your post at PWR360 on Twitter and use hashtag ManscapedPod. Let us know that you've been, jumping in on the Lawnmower 3.0 trimmer with the skin-safe technology, as Damian would let you know. It's not grabbing any skin as he crosses over the border.
Well,
Matthew, have you done your homework?
Yeah, that case when you when you pick it up, you can have a lawnmower just like Brody Lee.
Matthew, have you done it? By the way, it's waterproof. But have you done your homework yet? What I've continued to ask you to watch.
Yeah. So the other night I was watching Rookie of the Year, and I never saw it.
Rookie of the Year.
And I'm thinking the whole time, I'm like, this seems a little out of left field, no pun intended, for this type of movie. But yeah, so you must be wrong. There's no such scene in Rookie of the Year.
Nope. Rowan Gardner was not using the lawnmower to 3.0 to clean himself up because he was underage, Matthew. I was talking about the changeup with Ryan Reynolds and Jason Bateman. They do go to the Braves game.
I need to write that down because I start searching after the show, and I'm like, yeah, the baseball movie's talking about it. I apparently got the wrong one.
Heffenpfeffer, you're in. All right. Again, we could continue on and on here, but make sure you're taking care of Manscaped.com because they're taking care of us, and we're bringing this content to you. So make sure you're taking care of them. Matthew, we're going to dedicate our time tonight. While we could talk about SmackDown tonight, we're not going to. We're going to talk about the big show coming up this Saturday night. It is, and I heard Damian say this on primetime this last Thursday night with Shane Helms and returning Dave Hero. This is their biggest show of the year, but they don't say it's their biggest show of the year.
Yeah.
So they don't get that super overhyped, anticipation and the letdown, but this is their show. It's called All Out, and it's all out for a reason. The main event for the heavyweight championship from AEW, it's Jon Moxley taking on MJF. The paradigm shift is banned. Your thoughts, and who may come out the winner?
My goodness, this is a tough one to call because on one hand, I don't feel like this could quintessentially be the biggest match in the very short history of AEW. You've got their champion who's had a 6-month run at this point.
You're calling this the pivot point.
Yeah. And you've got within that company a guy who very likely is the biggest up and coming star in the entire industry. Somebody that, it's tough to say what directions things go, but if he keeps this momentum up, is very possibly the future of the industry. And do they make the call? Do they pull the trigger right now on the quote unquote future, or do they make it wait a little while? So it's a tough one to call.
We've got the next 25 years apparently.
Yeah, we've got the next 25 years. So the reasons that make me think they might stick with Moxley, I don't feel like it's been a very notable title run thus far. It's only been a handful of defenses,
but does it have to?
Yeah, I feel like it's been a very short title run, and the biggest thing here is the MJF campaign, MJF 2020.
We deserve better.
It's coming right into election season, and we've still got 2 more months to go. I could see him not going over in this first match, and the campaign continues to, get another match, and you keep up the quote unquote campaign. So here's what I want to see. I want to see MJF go over, walk away, your new champion. I think it would be the most exciting move they could make. It would be the most talked about thing in the professional wrestling industry right now. I don't see it happening. I think Moxley retains.
Let's talk about this. The Casino Battle Royal, which we're jumping out of the talk of the main event, but we're going to come back to. The Casino Battle Royal offers up a future title shot to the winner. 21 competitors. I wonder, and this is just me thinking out loud, I wonder if we have a face win it, does that mean MJF? If we have a heel win it, does that mean Moxley?
Traditionally, you would say so. AEW's shown that they're not afraid to do things a little bit different. Just the few.
You mean like an 8-man tag with all faces?
An 8-man tag with all faces.
And lawnmowers.
Jake Roberts feuding with Taz, and all of that going on. So if it was anybody else, I'd say that would, tip the hand. But so here's the thing. I almost say if it's a face that wins it, Moxley's going to retain. If it's a heel that wins it, it's going to be MJF, because I think they know they've got a very smart audience, and they're going to read the tea leaves and read into everything. So I think it is going to set up a heel versus heel or a face versus face.
If you also follow the tea leaves of wrestling, MJF was standing tall at the end of the go home show.
Yes.
Standing tall with a bloody Moxley, which would normally lead you to believe that Moxley's going to retain to get that 50-50 one up.
Yeah.
But then again, who's to say? So that's why we watch the shows, folks.
And here's the thing too with Moxley is, it's been a weird year, and no title run feels like a traditional title run. But it was a big deal when they pulled the trigger with Moxley. That was the guy that,
because he was only the second champion in the company's history.
Yeah, and that's the guy WWE was hot and cold with. And I just, I think he's going to hold onto it a little bit longer. And here's something else we need to consider. And, it was really the case for McIntyre not to win at WrestleMania. And this has got to be considered right now in this COVID era. Is the thought process, are they thinking about, okay, MJF, this is going to be his first major title win. In a perfect world, you would have it happen in front of an audience. You would have him have a crowd for that.
Well, there's going to be 10% there.
Yeah, it's going to be 10%, but that's also something you cannot ignore at this juncture. That's got to factor into it. So, oh man, I feel like the MJF 2020. I feel like it goes through the remainder of It's a great angle, and man, largely if he wins the title, the MJF 2020 gimmick is done. I think he needs to campaign at least for a few more months.
You sold me on it. We need the campaign to continue on through to November. I've been sold.
Well,
Moxley retains.
I feel very privileged to have sold you a box of Mox.
A box of Mox. What's in the box?
Oh, Mox.
Kenny Omega and the Hangman Adam Page, who no longer belongs to the Elite, defend their tag team championships against FTR, which could stand for lots of things, but a lot of times it's for the Revolution or F the rest. Tully Blanchard will be at the side of FTR. This one smells like a title change to me. Unfortunately for the man they call Meathead, as he has Omega and Hangman Page on his fantasy team.
Is it just me, or are they doing just a fabulous job of making Omega unlikable at this point? I don't know if it's intentional or not, but
I don't know if it's intentional.
Especially this, just the obtuseness and the slight at Tully, and watching the exchange a few nights ago with FTR and Tully and Page and Omega, it's like it is fairly complex storytelling for wrestling. It's very interesting and intricate and not your typical, baby face versus heel. But man, I continue to be so intrigued in Page. You've got, to me, I'm looking at this feud and it's all these supporting characters and Page. I think this is built to get Page over. How exactly they go about that, I don't know. But I mean, FTR, that is your quintessential tag team, and that's one of their biggest things about making the jump to AEW. They're coming there to bring tag team wrestling back and not be shuffled around with all the silly gimmicks they had in WWE. I think you go ahead and do it now, and you go ahead and get us to Page and Omega. To me, if for no other reason than you need to go all in with an Omega heel turn, or at least in the context of him and Page, because he's not coming across likable on TV at all, at least to me. And I think it's time for those two to finally have their feud.
Hopefully they won't use as much eye makeup on Hangman Adam Page as they did this last Wednesday night on Dynamite. I mean, because, dude, what color was that? Was that like a fuchsia?
What are they going for? He's been drinking, or he's been crying, or a little bit of both?
Or he's got pink eye.
Yeah, or he's got pink eye. Maybe that's what this whole gimmick is. Maybe that's why he interfered in the Bucks match. He didn't intentionally do it, but he's got pink eye. And he doesn't want to admit it.
Fair enough. One of the other big matches is going to be Sheeta taking on the NWA Women's Champion, Thunder Rosa. When the thunder rolls. We talk about this, and we go on, and we don't need to kind of do it anymore, but there's not a ton of interest. I mean, this match is kind of thrown together for the women's title. Sheeta, the defending champion from AEW. Thunder Rosa, defending champion from NWA. It looks like Sheeta's probably going to win this.
I don't know. It seems like it's been a little bit of musical chairs with that title, and they're trying to find something that sticks. I can see them doing a title change here, and I don't know what their relationship is with the NWA, or what the status of the NWA is right now.
I assume she's on loan, and I don't think she's going to be full time.
For all you know, that could be the NWA on WWE television under those masks and those black suits, huh?
For all we know, allegedly. I mean, Barrett is in town. Barrett was just recently a commentator for the NWA now, wasn't he?
Yeah, that's my prediction. That's who they are. It's the NWA. Billy Corgan's under one of those.
Yeah, and the reason he's wearing a mask is because the world is a vampire. Let's talk Jericho. Let's talk Cassidy. Absolutely love Chris Jericho, who Shivani, and I brought this up with Damian, Shivani and Justin Roberts said, is Chris Jericho pushing 330 pounds?
Yes, he was announced at 325 the other night, right?
Wow. I mean, I don't care. I mean, Chris Jericho's still awesome, and he's still, doing great work. But he wore a Cassidy shirt in a ring, took Bad Boy Joey Janela's blood and rubbed it all over Cassidy's face on the shirt. So well played out, and it really just sent Cassidy over the edge. They're going to have a Mimosa Mayhem match. And how many gallons? So is it 20,000 gallons of mimosa?
That sounds about right.
I'm interested. I'm excited to see it. I've been excited to see Orange Cassidy do everything that he's done since AEW really started on TNT. But, it's gotten to be more and more each time.
100%. And I like the story they're telling with Cassidy getting a different gear now. The question was always going to be when he starts being featured more exclusively, how's it going to be believable? And it's almost like, you've got 85% of the time, you've got Cassidy, just kind of hanging back. But then, when he attacked Jericho last week at the commentary, this guy is Sonic the Hedgehog just coming out there. I like the idea of him getting.
So who's Jim Carrey then?
Yeah. That would be Tony Schiavone, I guess, right?
Yeah, because that's perfect call.
And you got to love Cassidy. I hope the backpack stays with him. I kind of liked him with the backpack.
Yeah, because Jane Sport is obviously a big sponsor of AEW.
Yeah, I was always an East Pack kind of guy.
Another big match.
My East Pack did have the little leather bottom like his JanSport did.
Fair enough. I mean, that was a weekend that I had a leather bottom too, but we won't talk about that here. AEW All Out also features Matt Hardy against Sammy Guevara in a broken rules match. So that means we might get multiple versions of Matt Hardy from the Hardyverse or the Mataverse. What's it called? It's called the Mataverse, right? Or the Broken Verse. I
believe so. Or is this where Matt Hardy gets defeated and has to leave AEW and Broken Matt returns full time, or some incarnation we've never seen?
Seriously, give me again Vanguard 2.0. Give me his Gardner. Give me everything else. I want them all.
And that's the thing. I mean, that was we got a good amount of that when Hardy premiered, but they've never, and that's one of the things that I was excited with about Hardy coming to AEW was, hopefully full creative control, and they would go, and I hate to keep using AEW puns, but they would go all in with it, and you would have.
You did the first one, and I let it go, but there you are again, pointing it out.
Yeah, I know that was unintentional, but it seemed like a phrase that would work there. But I mean, let's get Senor Benjamin, and I mean, they haven't featured any of his children. That was such a good aspect of the first incarnation.
Yeah, because Hornswoggle or Swoggle lost to one of his kids, didn't he?
Oh, that's right. So there's so many. I mean, I really, unless he's tired of it, unless he wants to move on from that, and then more power to him. But I really would like to see that get the AEW treatment.
Absolutely. All right, so that's All Out. There's way more matches. I know there's a buy-in match with Britt Baker, DMD against Big Swole. Again, we've got this Casino Battle Royal, which is 21 competitors. Here's the odd thing about it, and I mentioned this to Damien yesterday morning. It says they're going to throw them in at 5 at a time. See, 5 divided into 21.
It goes 4.25. 12731.
You know what? I'm going to let them just tell me a story. I'm going to be okay with that. All right, let's talk some quick other news real quick before we get off the air here. There is an article out there that says apparently Tyson Fury and Drew McIntyre have been going back and forth on the old Twitter machine, and this smells to me like a setup for a Saudi Arabia show.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of where the special attraction belongs, and that's not anything negative or positive. It's just that seems like something that you would get there. And just one more thing to that, man. I do not like these quote unquote feuds starting on Twitter or social media. It's like, you give me a break. There's enough feuds on social media as it is. I don't need a kayfabe feud on social media.
So you're saying don't go on the Pat McAfee show and start something.
Yep. Although that did lead to something very good, I will say.
Yeah, that match was better than we thought it was going to be. And one more thing, and this makes perfect sense now that Paul Heyman showed up with Roman Reigns. Brock Lesnar, according to all reports, is a free agent.
Brock Lesnar in the Impact Zone. I'm calling it.
Yeah. Go ahead and call it. It's not going to happen, but go ahead and call it. Brock Lesnar didn't show up to, dates, if he didn't want to in WWE. What makes you think he's showing up to Impact?
Wait a minute. Are they still at Universal?
No, they're not at
If they were
Universal.
still at Universal, he might want to go and ride the rides. That would be motivation.
I don't know where they record. I'll be completely honest. I know they're recording somewhere. I have no idea where they're recording. Are they still in Nashville, like the original TNA? I mean, I don't know.
They were in Vegas for a while, weren't they? Didn't they have a spot in Vegas?
Somewhere in America. I couldn't keep track.
Because
when they were doing the global with Jeff Jarrett, and they kept saying, coming from here, and they were just going across the North America, I lost track. I couldn't keep up with where they were at.
So here's the next big question is, how much would Tony Khan shell out for Brock Lesnar?
He'd have to pay him. I mean, per appearance, he wouldn't sign him to any kind of guaranteed deal like WWE can. But Tony Khan might pay $1 million for an appearance.
But just to throw it out there, if you had a one-off of Lesnar in AEW, who would you want to use him against?
He'd have to go with Brian Cage.
Oh, yeah,
or Marco Stunt, either one.
Oh, wouldn't that be? That would be money right there.
That would be bad for Marco Stunt because, I mean, Brody Lee's throwing Marco Stunt around. I do think there's some money there with the unfinished business he had with Moxley. That was the much talked about WrestleMania match that Moxley was very vocal about. That was not what, he wanted it to be. And I think that with an AEW treatment, with having a little more leeway as far as what they can and can't do, sure. I think that might actually be. You know what that smacks of? You know what it smells of when you say that? John Moxley, Dean Ambrose, and Brock Lesnar. And Brock Lesnar saying he didn't want the match. That's the reverse from WCW going into WWF/E when Jericho showed up in Rock or Jericho Goldberg. I meant not Rock, but Jericho Goldberg. So when Goldberg showed up, that was Goldberg's second program was to go with Jericho because of the unfinished business, with Jericho and Goldberg.
Absolutely. So, I mean, that's and how exciting is it now, too, when you have a big name free agent that there's a different pond they can potentially go swim in.
Trust me, they are not jumping into this kiddie pool.
Not at all.
Matthew Thomas, that is the end of our week. Again, thank you to Manscaped. Thank you to Collar and Elbow brand. I mean, they've always taken care of us. I know that I love listening to the shows and checking out the shows with no sound on at all because I don't want to listen to myself or you. But having the closed caption coming up and seeing that closed caption to say, I'm about to get my Waffle House Collar and Elbow brand T-shirt. I love seeing that stuff. So,
absolutely.
Again, love the Collar and Elbow brand. PWR 360 is the promo code if you go on to collarandelbowbrand.com. Get yourself a T-shirt and save 10% as well. Plus Manscaped. Manscaped.com, 20% with promo code PWR. Free shipping. I mean, you can get the big package, no pun intended. But, I mean, again, we love our people, love our sponsors. And we love you guys, too. Make sure you like and subscribe. Make sure you're commenting for us. And, I know that everybody's loving us when they're cleaning the houses when they're empty, right? Isn't that what you told me, Matthew?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. No, I've been told that, we are like a roommate for some people.
Well, make me dinner. Make me dinner. Hopefully that's echoing throughout the house now. All right. So for Matthew Thomas, I'm the man they call Meathead. Hey, thanks for stopping by. So long, everyone.